Rebuilding the carburetor on my old 1980 something lawn boy, and I'm going to clean her up and give it a bit of a new paint job there, see if I can make it look a little nicer. As you can see, I've got my carburetor off. It seemed to want to smoke a lot when it was on the high-speed cut, and as you can see, the float looks rather done. So we're going to clean that up, and I'll have to pick up another one and we'll rebuild that soon. Okay, I've given her a shot of paint. Here's my breather cover. Pull the wheels off and just give it a shot of gloss black. I'm about to see if I remember how to paint. I dug out my Iwata airbrush, and we're going to put some True Fire on this and see how it looks. Okay, so I'm just setting up with the I got the auto air semi-opaque white, and I've got a blue candy, the Createx, and I usually like to reduce them by about 3 to 1. So I'm just going to mix these up, and then I'll show you the consistency that I like, and we'll get started. So I've mixed up my paint. Just don't know how well we can see here. The light is terrible, but it's about the consistency of milk. You can see it beading off the side. The same with the blue candy. As you can see, when it just very watery. I usually go 4 to 1 on my candy because you layer it on a lot more. Okay, let's get set up, and of course I'm using my Iwata and an eBay special out of China. I think it cost me $14, which is great for spraying candy because you're not really detailing it, you're just giving it a wash. Alright, so I've removed the tip guard off of mine. I don't know if you can see here on the end. And I usually like to keep just a wet, moistened rag that I can, if the paint starts to dry. You'll have to bear with me. I had a roof leak, and my stuff's been stored for the last 2 years, so this is the first time I've actually picked up my airbrush. We're going to attempt some blue True Fire on the lawnmower. I'll do a little bit. Not going to go into great detail on how to, because there's lots of great videos on YouTube how to do this, and I'm not a teacher, I'm just a learner. A little sloppy here off the hop. First I'll get my rough in some of the flame that I'm going to do. I like to start in with just a rough of what I'm doing, and my flames kind of have an idea what I want. As I get going, I start filling in a little more of what I'm... Oh, and there's the compressor kicking in. Okay. Once I get in my base, then I start with the stencils. They're great for giving little detail to your flame. That's not exactly what I was looking to do. So I'm going to shut down for a little bit and continue on, and we'll get back when I'm ready to put some candy on. Okay, so I've got some start of my base for my flames coming on. Now we're going to add the blue candy over the white, and you know, a couple of embers there. I don't know if you can see a little better on here. As we hit them with the blue candy, we're starting to get I like to go over lightly and then come back over, and so you don't get too much at one shot. And you can see where you might want to highlight a little more blue. Once I'm done this, I will continue on with my white again, highlighting and adding. As you see, you'll get a nice blue looking flame. You can see where I went a little darker. I'll bring these ones out. So that's how you get your blue true fire. It's very apparent after 2 years. I really need a lot of practice, but it's only the first layer. I'm sure I can bring these flames to life a little more, and then I'll work on the cover, and we'll see how it looks when it's done. Gonna give another quick update there. I got a little more flames, a few more layers. As you can see, it brought it out to life, the more layers, and each time. I'm going to start on the top. I think I'm going to stop it at the halfway, leaving the back all black. So we'll just leave the front, and I'll do a little bit of the cap in flames. Okay, well, battery's going to die here, so I'm going to call it a night. There's my deck, and there's the top. Should look good when it all goes back together. I'm going to give it a shot of clear in the morning. Well, I just came back from a parts supply store looking for a new float for my carburetor, and what they've told me is they've phased them out. I can't get a float for these anymore because apparently he said it's too old. It's only 1984. They did happen to have a used one, cork. Looks good shape, so I'm going to clean it up and then I'll change it. Okay, carburetor's all cleaned up, the best we can get it. Now, changing the float. Just going to remove the pin. They did send me another one. They both look about the same. I'm going to try the newer one anyway. Back in. And there we go. There we are. Now testing if it works. Never good practice, but put this in your mouth, blow into it, and just lift. And as the gas fills up and floats, you'll hear it close off. Okay. Take the old gasket. And luckily they had a universal Briggs & Stratton kit that has what I need. The proper tool for the proper job. Okay, so my new gasket's going to go like so. We're going to cap back on. You should always be careful when you're tightening these down too, as it's not even a white metal, it's all plastic. So you want it tight enough that it's going to keep the fuel in. Mind you, it shouldn't get to the top of the bowl so long as the float is working properly, which mine wasn't. And it was pouring fuel right out the front here. This looks like much better. Okay, there we go. Get a little snug, not too tight, but snug, snug, and snug. Now, you don't want to go too much and crack the plastic, because then you're dead in the water, because I know you just can't get these anymore. Apparently 1984 is now old for a lawnmower, and I'm not going to let it go. I was already thinking if I remove this bracket, I could get another float that'll fit the same size and maybe just a silver solder, and I'll make it work. I refuse to let this lawnmower go. As my kids keep telling me, the only guy that has a lawnmower louder than his Harley Davidson. Okay, I'm going to get the deck up here, and we'll continue on from there. Okay, deck's up. You don't need this on anymore. Guys at the parts store sent me the gasket set, ensuring me that yes, it would fit. Well, the closest one is too small. The holes are not quite lining up to where they should. So what I'm going to do is just clip these ends off. And here and here. Now I'm going to have to carefully make sure that I keep that in the proper spot, just so the screws will fit through. I'm going to open it a little more. This will be fine cutting here, as long as we don't cut this surface. This is what's going to seal it in. And we'll see how this is going to fit first. Right like that. That's pretty well what I want there. That one on. I'm just going to make sure that my gasket stayed in the proper space. Gasket looks good. I can see it from the side. Again, you want to torque these, give it a firm torque, but you don't want to go too much, because again, the carburetor's plastic. And they say it's too old, so you can't get them anymore. So my cover plate. Now this, you want to make sure you put your kill switch leads back on. Put it right back at the coil. So we get this, make sure you get your primer line back on the bulb. Actually, we'll put that on second. I'll flip it up. Get my fuel line hooked up first here. Okay, it's good. Starter. As I said, it's just a tube there. You in. Pull that back. Screw this top back down. Can't wait till my buddy Jason from work sees this. I like to call this pimp my mower, but as Jason would call it with the airbrushing and the flames, he's from Mattawa, little French community. He likes to call it Frenching it up. Now what we've got so far is my pimped out mower and the blue flame, and I'm going to throw the wheels on it and the handle. We'll put some gas in it, and I think she's ready to try. Okay, got the wheels back on now, and I scraped my paint a little bit. Might have been a little early, but we'll live with that. I just wanted to throw in this lawn boy. When I started at the hospital laundry in 2001, one of the first things I did was took this lawnmower that was in really bad shape and did not want to run, and I fixed it up, and the boss came around the corner and thought the crankshaft was bent on it because it didn't work due to the previous maintenance man's information. But I fixed it up, and when the laundry closed, they asked if there was anything out of the shop I wanted as part of my package for leaving, and well, I took this lawnmower, and just wanted to show Lauren it's looking good, and still runs great. Okay, I'm going to put the handle on, and I'll take it outside and we'll fire it up. Okay. Put some fuel in her. We'll prime her up and we'll see how she runs.